HBU, it was, I don't know that we played our best. We were a little beat up, but I think HBU is more beat up than we were. So we were kind of two injured teams, I guess, to some degree. It was good to see different people step up at different times. I thought Vanessa Coleman had a stretch where she was, real good. And then Stacy DiFrancesco kind of, got everything going late in the match. 7 kills in the 4th set. It was good to see her get going again offensively because we haven't asked her to do a whole lot offensively, but with people hurt, she's stepped up a little bit and performed real well. I thought our defense was great. Hugh Hernesman, 34 digs, I think it was. And we did something a little bit different, than we normally defend some teams, and we changed some blocking calls, which put a lot of burden on Keeley defensively to really step up and have to make a lot of plays, and she did that. So we kind of figured that her dig numbers would be pretty high in this match because of the way we changed our defensive scheme. But she responded really well. I thought we served really well in that match. We were able to take them out of system in the 3rd or 4th set when after we split the first 2, and I thought that was real important. And then Corpus was, was probably, I told Tony after the match, I'm like, I think that's probably one of the best matches we've played all season. And offensively, we were okay, but our identity is our defense and what we do defensively. And our defense was as good as it has been all year long. Our service game was as good as it's been. Stacy had another great match. It kind of looked like Stacy from her freshman year when she was a high volume attacker, and we were able to get her the ball in spots, and she was feeling it. And so it was fun to watch her perform offensively when she's been in a different type of role that's been as important but just not as offensive. But it was good for her because she wants to be that terminal hitter, and she would, and we know that she can still do that. She showed that Saturday. We talk a lot about Keeley, but she's just been so consistent. To get that award, 3 times at this point. We're halfway, we're probably 2/3 of the way through the season, but only halfway through the conference season right now. For her to get that 3 times just speaks to how consistent she's been. She's kind of the key for us. I shouldn't say kind of. She is the key for us defensively. We do a lot of things, and we're able to make a lot of tactical adjustments because we know what we're going to get from her. Rewatched the Corpus match, and there's some things that she does that I think during the match we kind of take for granted, but you watch it afterwards and you just shake your head at the types of things that she does. So, I think we've talked about this before too. Her passing, her serve receive, and defense, 2 different skills, and her serve receive is so good. She passed a 3.0 against Corpus, which is a ridiculous number. You can't do any better. She just didn't miss at all. And then I think on the week between that and HBU, she passed like a 2.75. So she's got it going in both, in serve receive and defensively. Had 9 assists against Houston Baptist, which is a real high number for a libero and a non-setter. So she does it all. Lamar, Thursday, a lot of new faces there. It'll be a little bit like, Houston Baptist, where we had to kind of learn some new players. The staple in their program is Sierra Whitaker, tremendous athlete, got a cannon arm, real fun to watch, neat kid. So it's going to be, it's always a challenge to try to slow her down. She's so dynamic and she's so good offensively. And then, there's a couple other pieces that we know, but then there's, a lot of new pieces there, and they're off to a pretty good conference start right now. So that should be a good match on Thursday. Saturday against Sam. Sam's sitting there with 1 loss, just like we are. So that's, another important match. And they've got, you look at both of those teams, they both have dominant outsides. Stephanie is a tremendous outside hitter, great talent and tough to stop. And they set her all over the place. So, everybody knows she's going to get the ball. She still gets her kills. But they also have some other nice pieces there too, and some new players that we'll have to learn. But yeah, we feel good about where we're at and the way we're playing. I think you use every year as a barometer. Last year with us setting a number of school records, and for us to break some of those records already, or to kind of beat some of those, it's exciting for us because I think that we are now realizing that we've got enough talent to compete with anybody. And early in the year, we felt like we did, but I don't know that we really knew we did because we were losing matches. Now we were obviously losing matches to some very, very good teams. But when you take those losses, you still, that doubt will kind of creep in to some degree. But I don't know if this is by design, but we do play a challenging schedule early, and I feel like that's paying off now. Now that we're starting to understand the value of doing some of the smaller things, the value of creating kills here and there, and not taking points off. I think that's really kind of carried over into conference season. I'm hoping that that's part of the reason for the start to the conference season. And we've won like 11 out of 12 now. So it feels good to be on that end of it, as opposed to it was earlier on in the season when we were competitive but not pulling those matches out.